So, the thing about depression is that it's something that I don't feel a lot of people talk about, which I think people should be more open to talking about. Depression is a silent ego and soul killer. It's like this black, thick cloud that follows you and you can't get rid of it. But the interesting thing is it's all mental. Depression is a mental disease. It's a sickness. It's a mental sickness. It's a sickness because you're latching onto some sort of negativity. I've had depression ever since middle school, and I'm in my I'm halfway to 30 basically, and I've always dealt with it in a very secretive manner. Those around me can tell that I was sad, but they would never really know that I was depressed, right? I feel like sadness and depression it's a completely different thing. People think that if you're sad, you're depressed. That's not it. No. Depression is something that is crippling to your soul. Okay? It's crippling. It's hard to get up in the morning. You feel dead inside. Okay? You get home and you feel like you have nothing to live for. Like, it's very heavy. It's not no shit where it's like, oh, my favorite character died and I'm so sad, or oh, I didn't get this and I'm so sad. Sadness is very temporary. Depression is something that lingers, okay? Depression can be with you for the rest of your life, honestly. If you don't take control of it and you allow it to consume your life, it will stay with you. That's the thing, and that's how different it is. So for me, when I went to college, my art college or whatever, that's when my depression got worse because I was out in San Francisco by myself. I left home. I didn't have anyone, right? So I'm trying to figure out life by myself, okay? And I'm this naive 18-year-old. I don't know shit, okay? Like, I didn't even know how to write a resume to get a job, okay? Like, straight fresh out of high school, like a fucking naked fish, okay? I didn't know anything. And, as I start living and the years pass and stuff like that, my depression sometimes would seem like it would stop and then it will come back with a vengeance, okay? So, like, there's a period, I think for 2 years, I was still getting to know the city and I didn't have any friends and I was by myself, and the only friends I had were my Korean dramas that I would watch. And, I would go to school and then go home because I'm like, I don't know, San Francisco is fucking huge, and I'm not gonna go and explore the city because that's just not who I am, okay? So yeah, during that time, it was very lonely, and I do remember that, I felt like at the time my depression was like my friend, and I felt like I definitely gave into it, okay? Let's just say that. I isolated myself for 2 years. I didn't really make contact with people much. It's not like I was averted to people coming into my life. It's just that I didn't expect anything. I just expected to stay alone, okay? So I cope with my depression by kind of seeing it as my friend because I wasn't sure how to get rid of it. I was just like, I don't know why, but for some reason I am a sad person. Not like I look sad, but, my friends would be like, but you're very positive and you're so inspirational and unique and stuff like that. But honestly, deep down inside, I don't know why, but there's this very deep loneliness that will not go away. And I feel like I'll probably have it for the rest of my life. Even if I get married and I have a happy marriage, I feel like I will just, this deep loneliness will always be within me. It's really hard to explain it. It's more of a spiritual thing. But that's how it's always been for me, right? Everyone is different. So I was trying to befriend my depression, but it was definitely my enemy, okay? It kept me isolated and it just kept me in these negative thought patterns. The thing about depression that people need to understand is it's a negative thought pattern, a negative recurring thought pattern that keeps you stuck, okay? Depression, I feel, is like your thoughts, right? It's all mental. It's not necessarily emotional. Depression is all in your head, okay? And sometimes there's something like chemical stuff where like you lack serotonin, so there's like a chemical imbalance in your brain. That's for some people. But for most people, I feel like it's more of anxiety, worry, not sure about what's happening in the future, insecurity, lack of confidence, lack of self-love, lack of direction, feeling like you don't have a purpose, having people bog you down with negativity, right? So it's like your soul is surrendering to the darkness, basically. Okay, that's depression in a nutshell. And how throughout the years I've definitely tried to, when I'm depressed, I don't usually draw. Okay, like some people would say, oh, I tried to turn my pain into art. When I would try to turn my pain into art, it would look like complete shit, okay? Because I was not focused, and I'm just like, I don't fucking feel in the mood to draw this shit, so I just don't want to draw. So when I'm depressed, I just don't draw. And as an artist, if you're an artist, if you always love to draw, we get withdrawal system. Oh my god, I can't speak. Withdrawal symptoms as an artist. Okay, if you're constantly drawing and you suddenly stop, right? It's just like if you're constantly eating something and that's all you've been eating, then you suddenly stop, your body reacts, right? So I would have like withdrawal symptom. I'd be feeling very fidgety. I'd get really irritable, and I'm not sure why. And that's kind of how the depression, exacerbated, because I thought that my art was helping me, but it was actually pissing me off more. So you have me being pissed off, drawing art, and my depression is like, yeah, stay mad, woo, stay down, woo, yeah, right? Oh, a fucking hot mess for years. How I actually shoot away my depression, I'd say I don't really have, I'm not gonna lie, it's not fucking easy, okay? Like, it takes years, okay? I'm not as depressed as I was before, and I feel like that's because I've been through a lot of life experience. I've been through a lot of ups and downs. I've experienced miracles. I've experienced the worst shit fucking happening at the worst time. I've experienced just so much, and there are so many cases where I just wanted to give up, but the next day would be so much better than the previous day, right? So there are a lot of instances where I felt like the universe was like, please don't give up, like a lot of instances that in little moments that tell you to keep going on with life, I'm sure you guys have experienced that. Life is like that, okay? Life could be a bitch to you tomorrow, and then, the next day it is just complete roses and butterflies and unicorns, or, the other day it's just super chill, or then it's up and down and everything's unexpected. Life is just, it's a fuck fest, okay? Life is like a mind fuck in a nutshell, basically. And so to shoo away your depression, I'd say you would just have to keep living life, but to work on self-improvement, okay? That's the quickest way for you to get rid of this depression. Work on your negative attitude. I am so famous for holding myself back for so many years because of my negativity. Okay, I used to consider myself a pessimist. Now I'm a realist, but I was very pessimistic and I didn't realize how I was holding myself back, okay? The depression, it is very subtle in how it will manipulate you, okay? You may just think, oh, I'm a negative person. Not necessarily, okay? Your depression can definitely manipulate you to do that. But I would just say to improve yourself, how I improved myself was I tried to, say positive mantras and stuff like that, and try to love myself more. I discovered who I am by making mistakes, okay? I made mistakes, and then I would have to forgive myself for those mistakes, and just consider things as a journey, and not be too crazy about outcomes and how things are going to be and turn out, okay? Grow yourself as a person, okay? And your depression will slowly go away. My depression is still here. I don't think depression goes away, but I think you can mitigate it. Mine is no longer a huge cloud over my head. It's more of like a small cloud that just follows me around because it has nothing else to do with its life, okay? So improve yourself, okay? Improve your self-confidence. Start loving yourself more. By loving yourself more, that means you cut out the shit that no longer serves you. You cut out people who talk shit about you, people who take from you, people who use you, people who use you for convenience, people who are just using you for time. Oh, I'm just wasting time with you. Those people. Cut out fuck boys as well, okay? Fuck girls. Cut out those people. I cut out so many people. It's ridiculous. Like, if I could give you a list of people I cut out and just froze up on, you'd be like, God damn, you're like an expert at that. And as you do that, you will slowly start to gain pieces of yourself. You will start to understand what kind of person you are, how you will allow people to treat you, okay? You will start to have boundaries, and you will start to tolerate less bullshit from people, okay? If you're someone who tolerates people lying to you, once you build up self-love and self-confidence, that shit is not gonna work. And then the people who keep lying to you, they're gonna sense you're different. Oh my God, you changed. Like, bitch, I evolved, okay? Because I'm not dealing with your petty shit no more. Okay, so that's a huge indicator that you're progressing, and as you do that, your depression mitigates. It lessens because your thought patterns are changing, your mind is shifting, okay? Once you shift your mind, your depression also shifts. Okay, so think of depression like a bully, okay? The depression's like a bully, right? You stand up to the bully and it's like, what? Like, it's not expecting you to stand up to it, right? Because you're always being the doormat. So it's kind of like that. You have to step up, and you have to step into your own power as a person. And even if I'm saying this, I understand that this shit takes fucking forever. I'm not telling you this is gonna take a few months. I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna take a few years, okay? Especially if you've had depression all your life. And if you really want to change, it's gonna be fucking hard in the beginning. But you need to have self-discipline, and it's very possible, okay? I've always felt like I was lost at sea. I always used to describe depression as, imagine you're on the ocean on a boat and it's super foggy, you can't see shit, and you don't know where you're going, okay? That's depression for you. Or you're in a very dark forest and you're running and you're constantly running, but you can't see what you're running towards. All you see is the moon in the sky and you're constantly running in the dark. That's depression for you. It's a shield, okay? You can't, there's no clarity there. Everything is cloudy, everything is foggy, you're not sure what to do, you're not sure what the fuck's going on, okay? And sometimes it could lead you to really bad stuff. It could lead you to substance abuse, it could lead you to addictions, it could lead you to hatred, jealousy, just all this negativity, okay? So to fight that, just improve yourself as much as possible. Everyone improves themselves differently, okay? I don't really do exercise, so I didn't start exercising and shit like that. No, I worked more on my mental state. I wanted to become a more positive person, so I had to train myself to think more positively, even when things weren't working the way I wanted them to. That's a huge indicator that you are growing and your depression is like, oh, maybe I should back off. So I am definitely a changed person because, you know, I've been dealing with depression all my fucking life basically, but I decided to not let it hold me back anymore. And it's just a shift in energy, honestly. It's hard to tell you when it's gonna happen. I just can say, as long as you put in the work to understand yourself, the self-love to understand who you are and what you want and who you want to be and what you want to contribute to the world, the more you understand that and the more you focus on that and the more you focus on your bliss and don't do shit that makes you feel dead, I kid you not, your depression will slowly start backing away. You have to start first, okay? You first have to make that commitment. It is a commitment, okay? Think of it as a marriage. It is a lifelong commitment. And sometimes my depression does come back. It really does. But it's not as impactful as it used to be. So in the past, when my depression would come, I would completely shut myself off from everybody. I would just cry for hours and think, oh, I just want to die. Why am I here? Just fuck everything. Now, I am more irritated and I'm just like, nothing's going my way. Fuck it. I'm just gonna watch, you know, one of my favorite shows or whatever. I'm sure it'll pass, right? So my depression is more like the length of it is no longer months. It's more of like days or weeks, okay? The shortest I think it has been is maybe like 3 days. And it's just a mindset. Change your mindset, snap out of it, and it'll really change your life, okay? As long as, if you can change your thoughts, you change your reality. It's complete cliche, but it's not bullshit. It's completely true. Once you start changing who you are, you will start seeing your environment, your physical world start shifting and changing, and you're gonna be like, whoa, where the fuck did all this come from? I'm moving suddenly, oh my god, right? Like, or like physically moving, right? So yeah, I mean, I'm not really giving advice, I'm just, expressing my experience with depression and how I shoot it away, but I'm not saying that it's completely gone, because I feel like that shit's gonna probably follow me forever. But I can choose how I react to it. I can choose if I want to be depressed and have it in my life for a long period of time, or I can just be like, let me put on a comedy and laugh it off, okay? Right? So it takes time. Be patient with yourself. Be kind to yourself. Stop with the negative words. Don't call yourself a bitch. Don't call yourself a loser. Don't call yourself a person with no talent. Don't be mean to yourself, because that's what fuels the depression, okay? Be kind to yourself. Learn how to talk to yourself in a loving way. Learn how to talk to yourself the way you want someone to talk to you, okay? So, yeah, so that's my experience with depression. I think it is a mental illness, but I feel like it's more of a mental illness with our thoughts. It's a negative thought pattern in a cycle that's hard to break. But I feel that if you're determined and if you truly put in the work and effort, because it takes effort to get out of this fucking cycle, that, you can definitely do it. I mean, if I did it, you guys could do it without a doubt. So yeah. And that's about it. So thanks for watching, and until next time, see ya.